Hello, my name is Natalie Arevalo. I am the moderator for today's panel discussion. I am here with 3 candidates and our community activists. First, we have Pearl Vuorinen. She is the House of Representatives candidate. We have Fort Bend County Judge Christian Becerra. We have Dr. Mubashir Chaudhry, who is our community activist, and we have Fort Bend County Attorney Brian Middleton. So first, I want to start with Judge Christian Becerra. So why would you leave the bench and go run for an executive position?
That's a good question. My heart is in Fort Bend County. Born and raised in Fort Bend County. The community means everything to me. I currently serve as the presiding judge of the 434th District Court. I also preside over the Fort Bend County Mental Health Court. And I'm also the local administrative judge. And in that role as an administrative judge, I've come into contact with Commissioner's Court and dealing with them. And I've seen some things that I just can't unsee. I don't think I have to talk about all the troubles that are happening over at Commissioner's Court with the current county judge. But I constantly come into contact with people that are being disregarded by the county. They've been forgotten, including some of the county personnel, the people that work for the county, the people that maintain the county, the people that take care of us. And because of those reasons, I felt like it was a need for change. And because of my relationships with the county, because I care about our county, I've decided to run for county judge, and I think change is coming.
Wow, those are some very great points. Thank you, Judge Becerra. Now, Pearl, what made you want to run for the House of Representatives?
Well, I am a health care executive. I am a cancer survivor. I'm a single mother. I am a first-generation American. Through my father. He came over when he was 10 years old, and I believe I can make a difference. Healthcare is my biggest focus. Being a cancer survivor, I had to go through the system. I have insurance, I have financial stability, and even I had problems and barriers to getting the care that I needed. So I think it's very important that that subject is addressed, especially with everything going on within the last year that we've been going through. Also, I was on a grand jury, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't realize were such big priorities. Gun violence, violence against children, crimes against children, human trafficking. And I really think that we need to make a difference and pay attention to those things to make the community safe for everyone.
Right, I agree. Those are some excellent points. And now, Attorney Brian Middleton, what made you want to rerun for your position?
Well, I've been working hard these last 7 years, and I put all of my effort, all of my energy and attention into doing the job. I love my community. I want it to be safe. The motto at my office is the best in Texas, and we work hard every day to ensure that. I make sure our office is represented at the Texas Legislature. I'm the president of the Texas District and County Attorneys Association. I'm also on the board of the State Bar of Texas Criminal Justice Section. And so I'm doing everything I can to make our office the best office in Texas. And I want to continue to do that. And I think the county has benefited from that amount of passion and attention because I know that Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office is the best in Texas.
Great, awesome. That is very great to hear. And now, Dr. Mubashir Chaudhry, you as a community activist, what made you want to get involved with this current election?
It's a great question. Thank you, Natalie. I believe that knowing these two gentlemen, the District Attorney Brian Middleton and the Fort Bend County Judge Christian Becerra, I have seen and personally witnessed many areas that has improved. First of all, these courts and the district attorney's, especially office, are more accessible to public in different means and ways. I've been here, Fort Bend County resident, since 2004. So I've noticed that the things are much more easier for a common man and common person. So it's all about public, how you serve it, These two gentlemen have served the public, big time in terms of I remember coming across from many precedents and examples that Judge Christian Becerra clear the backlog that was sitting there for like 4 or 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember that, Judge?
I do. That was the first business order that we needed to do, is clear up the backlog in our courts.
Correct. And I haven't ever received a personal favor from any of these gentlemen, or any. This is the first time I'm getting involved in supporting. My support has been there, but what I'm supporting right now is more access to to the public. Awareness wise, I'm trying to let people know that if you support them, you're supporting yourself. And one of my associates, she's running for Congressional District 22. She's not a career politician, but we're promoting her, we're encouraging her because she wanted to do something for the healthcare. So healthcare is, our main and everyday, thing that we need. But justice is above everything. I mean, if you're not, justice is not served, it's just as delayed, is just as denied. So I see that the Christian Becerra would be a great county judge. I'm in full support, and also Brian Middleton. We need these people to stay in their positions and escalate, so that a person, a common man, gets benefit of it.
Those are some excellent points, everyone, and it seems that everyone here is for the community and want to do a great job in these roles. So next I'm going to start with Pearl. I want to ask, what is the main issue that you've seen in our community that you would like to address?
I feel that healthcare is one of the biggest issues in our community. The fact that people don't have access to healthcare, they have delayed healthcare. Even, like I said, for myself, I've had healthcare delays, I've had things denied, and I have insurance. Imagine the person who doesn't have the money to be able to pay out of pocket, or doesn't have the coverage. They're delaying their care, and they're getting sicker, and it's costing thousands of dollars, unfortunately, for them to go to the hospital or to see doctors, or people refuse, they're not getting seen. The doctors are refusing to see them unless it is an actual emergency. And people are going, they're losing their homes, their money, their everything, their well-being, by not having insurance and not having access to care.
Right, I agree with that. Now, Attorney Brian Middleton, what is the issue, a main issue that you've seen in our community that you would like to address?
Well, safety. We always want our communities to be safe. A couple of years ago, I decided to go to the police academy. I did that 7 days a week. I went to class at night after work. Initially, I thought it was 5 days a week, but it turned out to be almost 7 days every week. But one of the things that I learned in the police academy is that there was this study that showed that communities that trusted their law enforcement had lower crime. And so what I've always wanted to do was to restore trust and justice, because due to different national events, and luckily nothing that has happened in Fort Bend County, there has been a lack of trust with law enforcement. And so what I've tried to do is have a lot of community engagement, and to let the public know is that this is your DA's office. You have problems, we care. We're active, we communicate with our communities. We even have a citizens engagement class that we have. We invite community members to come in for a 9-month course. And they learn everything about the criminal justice process. And it's been very fruitful, because the people who graduate from that program learn about the county's criminal justice system. And all of them have left enlightened and feeling inspired and trusting law enforcement. So from that to our youth program, to all the law enforcement operations we've done, I believe we've made it loud and clear that Fort Bend County will be safe, and the Fort Bend County District's Attorney Office is serious about law enforcement.
That's great. And I think that's something that the community needs right now, especially like you said, with everything going on.
Oh yeah.
And just, building that trust with the community.
Yeah, and you just look at our statistics, they speak for themselves. The data is there. The impact that we've had on this community is there. So I think when people look at the real data, they will understand that there has been a great impact on criminal justice in Fort Bend County since I've been district attorney.
Great, thank you so much. Now, Judge Becerra, why did you want to, or what do you feel is an issue that needs to be addressed in the county or in our community?
There's so many issues going on right now with the county. But I think it started because of what Brian was just talking about, that community engagement. When I became judge, before I became judge, the judges before me, they would get elected and they'd sit up in their ivory towers and you would never see them in the public. Born and raised, Terry High School, George Junior High, I'm a local guy. I think that my community deserved to have me out in the community showing others that anything is possible. Right. Wasn't the best kid, I wasn't the best student, made a lot of mistakes as a young man. Grace of God, I got to go to University of Texas at Austin, Thurgood Marshall, and it was life-changing for me, you know, so I was set on a path. And once we got our daughters through college, our 3 daughters through college, I decided to be a public servant. And I think that's a key word, public servant, because I think a lot of times what's wrong with Commissioner's Court right now at the fundamental basics is that I think some of our elected officials feel that the community works for them, that the people that take care of us work for them, and they've forgotten that they work for all of the people in the community.
Right.
And we have people right now that are struggling to pay their property taxes. Our sheriff's department is spread so thin. They're not getting a wage that helps them compete with surrounding police agencies, and they're understaffed. And as we continue to grow out into the rural areas, 65% unincorporated areas is what the sheriff's deputies patrol, and they just don't have enough patrol deputies to do that. Brian said something very important. The community needs to feel safe. 2 issues. Number one, they need to be able to afford their cost of living in Fort Bend County, which is everybody's struggling with right now. And number 2, they want to feel safe. So those 2 things are, to me, the chief components about what we need to get a hold of. And I think it starts with being absolutely transparent about why we do things. Stop having policy driven by politics. It needs to be driven by the people of Fort Bend County. We need to go out into the community, which I've done since I've been on the bench. Even before 30 years I've been working in my community, and I understand what they need, and we need to focus on that.
I agree, definitely, and I'm grateful that you're involved in the community the way that you are. And now, Dr. Chaudhry, what do you feel an issue that you've seen in our community that hasn't been addressed?
I don't find anything specific, but I do have question for each of these candidates. So if you allow me.
Yeah,
please.
Of course, definitely.
So I would start with Judge Becerra. Judge Becerra, I was recently speaking to, a couple of days back actually, to be accurate. I won't name it out of respect, but one of the very high officials in this county and city, actually, I would say. So I learned a fact about you. And I want to find out that, how do you have the courage to make a decision like that in your court? So a bail was presented to you from an inmate who killed someone, one of our police officers, and then there were like several injured, and this is not his first offense, and probably belonged to a gang or something. So you don't find yourself, I don't see that you walk with the security out there and you're yourself, and I don't see that you're carrying a weapon or something. So how do you have this courage to stand for the justice? I understand that you're a judge, but I mean, no doubt about that, but obviously you have a job to do it, so I think that you take it more than a job to have the courage and deny the bail.
It's actually was. I can't talk specifically about the case, but I think you just do your job. And as far as being afraid to walk, I think I learned that early on. One of the bailiffs, I walked to the subway down the street from the courthouse, and they were they stopped on the side of the road and said, "Judge, where's your bailiff? Where's your bailiff?" And I said rather crudely that I'm from Rosenberg, man. I've lived a full life. I think I was raised tough by my mother, and it's about being part of the people. And this is what happens. And I go back to that ivory tower thing. If you can't go out into the community and the people that you represent, how are you going to know what they need? So I don't worry about those things. I think you do your job, and again, we have bailiffs at the courthouse, but I told those two detectives, I said, man, if they're going to get me, they're going to get me at H-E-B when I'm shopping for groceries or out to dinner with my wife. I'm very active in the community. I work with 4 nonprofits in the community and beyond. I'm on the board of 4, I should say, but we're always out in the community because that's where the community needs us. They need to see us. They need to trust us.
Yes.
They need to believe in us, and they need to know that we have their best interest in our heart. So I refuse to allow any fear or anything or loss or sickness or anything get in my way. I'm on a mission to take care of the people of Fort Bend County because that's where my heart is.
So I think having you said all of that, that makes me feel very good and put a smile on my face because I see you after taking the control of the county as a county judge. I find you that you will be in every disaster situation working up front. You will not be hesitant, right? That you won't
prepared,
and with especially the emergency management, because my background being a physician and administrative, part of it, on the operational side of the healthcare, I find that there's a lot to be done that has been neglected emergency management wise, because this county is flooded every now and then. And there are emergencies, and all of that, need to be put together.
I think that's a good point. I think special interest and the money pushes the current commissioner's court and our county judge into the undeveloped areas of Fort Bend County, but we've forgotten the established communities in Fort Bend County. And as I go around precinct to talk to folks, that's what I hear. Where are our commissioners? Where's our county judge? And they're spending all their time building and building and building, but we also have to maintain the established people that help build Fort Bend County. Right. So again, it can't be driven by private interest. It can't be driven by politics. Policy has to be driven by the needs of the people.
Sure. Yes. Thank you very much. And for the Fort Bend County residents, I am proud to have Christian Becerra, my friend, sitting right next to me. And I think we'll all be in the safe hands. Now, my next question goes for Pearl Vuorinen. You were recently, for a long period of time, year and a half, 18 months, you were appointed on a federal grand jury. You have seen abductions. You have seen, the human trafficking. You have seen gun violence. Of course, you cannot speak specifically. We understand that because you are bound by your oath and everything. And after you earlier said that your eyes were opened, and what do you think about the strength that you see in Brian Middleton and Christian Becerra? How it is benefiting even in this situation, and even the situation coming very soon where Christian would be a county judge?
I think that both of the gentlemen are very active and involved, and that's the biggest difference. Someone who stands for what they believe in, someone who's seen, someone who's active in the community, and listens to the people. Yes. Everything is about the constituents and the people in the county and in the country, actually. And having people that listen and value their opinion, I think, is extremely important.
Thank you. And my last question to Brian Middleton, who's our district attorney, Fort Bend County, is that you have seen in all sorts of situations a different level of cases that come across, and crime rate. And I personally feel that the crime rate has gone down. I mean, but in political world, your opponents may say that no, it is not, and whatnot. But how do you feel that? Do you think that things are in your control, and if you're given another term, that you could still do some unfinished business?
Yes, doctor. There is a lot of misinformation being disseminated in our community. And because of that is why a few years ago I started the State of Criminal Justice in Fort Bend County. It's an annual event that we have where we go through the crime statistics for our community. And that was to be proactive and to have a honest discussion about crime rates in our community. So this will be our third annual State of Criminal Justice in Fort Bend County. So the truth will come out in that forum, and we will know the true state of criminal justice in Fort Bend County. But I did that not knowing what the data would show, but with the willingness to attack and do whatever was necessary to be effective. You will know that crime has gone down nationwide. It's a national trend that has gone down. And Fort Bend County is no different. We've seen a reduction in crime. There may be some dispute about why, but what we've seen is a decrease in crime. Where we've seen an increase is in intimate partner violence, and we could ascribe that to the COVID and being in cabin fever, being inside the homes. But what we're dealing with is we're being responsive to what the statistics show. And we talk about growth. And one of the things that came out of this seminar, State of Criminal Justice, is that we need to ensure that we have adequate law enforcement. As we build these new communities, 12,000, 15,000 homes, we need to make sure that we have sufficient police officers to support that. So this annual State of Criminal Justice produced a lot of information and a lot of policy that we can use. And like I've said, I will continue to make sure that Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office is the best in Texas. I won't back down. I am willing to do whatever it is necessary to be effective. I know my superpower as a district attorney is to hire great people, and I've done that. The employees in my office are the best in their fields. We constantly train. We're constantly looking at statistics and making sure that we are always improving. I tell my employees we cannot coast. So we're always looking for ways to be better and to do better. And if I'm reelected, you will continue to see the progress with the Fort Bend County District Attorney's Office. And Fort Bend County will remain one of the safest counties in Texas.
That's wonderful. Yes. One last comment on what you just said. I warmly welcome this. And my support, that unconditionally would be there for all of you three candidates, especially for you as well. But I want to mention one thing over here, what I really, really loved about you when you took over the district attorney position, that you started a program about youth. And that is my pride, that I was involved for a certain period of time with it. And you had the good eye for involving the people that you have involved in that organization. It's a nonprofit organization, but you started repairing from the bottom, from the grassroots level. I mean, you started focusing on the kids while you're doing your everyday to-day job. What do you have to say about that? How did you come up with that idea, and how is it going?
Well, one of the hardest things as a prosecutor is when you have to punish children. And the question you ask yourself in those moments is, how did this child get here? They didn't get there alone. Right. It's the environment, it's the lack of parental support. And no child is born a criminal. Right. And so if I had that responsibility to hold them accountable, I felt like I needed to do something to prevent it. And all the studies show that crime goes down as spending on youth programs go up. And so I started that program out of my back pocket with the help of you and Judge Christian Becerra and a lot of other people. But we did that with our own money, with the intent of helping our kids and providing a safe environment for them to flourish. We call it the Exposed Excellence Youth Program, and that was deliberate because what we try to do is provide a safe program, a safe environment for these kids to come in and express themselves. And we provide field trips and a lot of different programming so they're exposed to excellence.
Right.
And so we've seen a lot of benefit from the program. These kids still communicate with me. They're going on to college, excelling. And I love to get emails. This one young lady I saw a few weeks ago, she's at UT. And she told me one of her articles was published in the Texan newspaper. So, I mean, these are examples of how these kids go on to be successful. And so when we have a saying in the program, our kids, our future, and our responsibility.
I love
So
that.
that last part is what we're doing with the program, is accepting responsibility for our children's success, because their success, you know,
Reflects.
as sooner or later, they're going to be DA, they're going to be judge, right?
Yeah,
And so
be
we need
members
to
of the
make
community.
sure that we're preparing them for that success. And so as we nurture them, they're not getting in trouble. And they're being put on a path for success and development.
Thank you very much, and I will back to you.
Okay. I don't have any other further questions. I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us here. Everyone has made excellent points. Everyone here is for the community. They want to see the community be better, and get out there and vote.
Oh, I think she said it all. Go out and vote. And Democratic primary starts February 17th. Get out and vote. Your voice matters.
Yes, every single voice and vote matters.
And don't forget that, you know, you may have a young one in your home. We need to encourage them to be involved. And the very first lesson, just like when they were toddler, you were teaching them, the very first lesson is go out vote.
Yes.
Yes.